guys, jacobrdoty here, back from my vlog, and today we're in a rush to get somewhere, so I have my girlfriend recording me right now. Plus, I forgot my head unit thing, the head strap for the GoPro, so she's holding it while I'm driving. But I wanted to make a quick video about this gauge cluster because I've had it for a couple days now, and I should have done this a whole lot sooner. Here, as you can see, I have yellow lights on it, and it has the screen down the middle, which I just have on the fuel economy, which you definitely do not buy a Mustang for fuel economy. Got to shift. I really should have done this a whole lot sooner, just because it really does make a big difference and like modernizes the entire interior to me. One of you guys commented that it really looks good with the carbon fiber on the dash and the steering wheel, which I agree. I think it really does tie everything all in really nicely. So I'm really glad that I did it, even though it was kind of a pain. I mean, not totally though. Hold on, I gotta get on the freeway. Let's see. Big movement. One racing thing was just kind of a weird circumstance, I think, because of my car and the way it's tuned. But for the most part, your guys' cars, if you did the swap, would be no big deal. And actually had a couple buddies that have 11 and 12s. I don't know about the 10s because they're not 5.0s, but I would assume they would work. But with the 11 and 12s, it's a little bit more involved because you have to have the ABS sensor to get the track apps. And then it also requires a different wire in your steering wheel to actually change over and have the full track apps and have the full premium cluster. Because on the 1314, it's an easy swap. We already have all the wiring. So technically this was like totally hidden already in my car. It's in my car this entire time, but once I added the cluster, it showed me all of these readings. So it tells you if your trans temp is cool, or if it's all good, or if it's warm, if it's cold, and it shows you your air fuel ratio, your head cylinder temp, like all that stuff. So I'll actually go more in depth later in the video once we make it to our place that we need to get to, but I'm gonna show you guys all the different screens on here if you're not familiar. Plus, there's a secret where there's like 150 different color combinations, and I'm gonna have them all listed for you, because that's how I got this special yellow to make it match the car, is because I had to look up this secret combination to make all these colors. You can really dial in the color you're looking for. The average price to do the upgrade, let's say the cluster is about $250 for itself. The buttons are 30 bucks, so we're at 280. And then that's if you're a 1314, plus the $100 to send it to Auto Pro. It's 380 right there. And then you have to pay maybe $100 if you don't have access to ForScan and you have to take your car to Ford. So 480 bucks, almost 500 bucks to do the swap. I mean, if it's worth it to you, which I'll show some of the features, if those features are worth it to you, then by all means, it's totally worth it. Kind of low on my list, but once I had the opportunity to get it and the deal popped up, I mean, I had to go for it because it is something that was lacking in my interior. And then obviously next is the seats, because that's where the base model is really like down on the Recaros. I mean, I just want the Recaros. I don't care about leather, like just the standard leather. I don't really like those as much as even my cloth. These ones hold me in actually better than the leather for the same year. And the speaker system for the premium is like, doesn't matter to me because I add a subwoofer and new speakers to every car I have. And then also the Footwell Lighting. I mean, it's controllable on my cluster. Like it shows that I can control it if I had it, but obviously I don't have it all ran throughout the car. So that's really the only difference between this car and a premium, because other than that, I pretty much upgraded and made it better than a premium. The cluster, there wasn't an aftermarket solution that was better. And then all those LED lights, I mean, I can add ones that dance to music and have all these different colors and themes. So really you can upgrade way beyond what the premium is. But it does look really, really sweet whenever all the lights are off and looking at it through the night. Like, look at that yellow. I finally have something on the interior that matches the yellow, because everything else is like this ice blue. So now we've got the yellow. There's a little bit of yellow. There's a little bit of yellow right there. But this one's like the real caliper yellow. Yeah. Yeah. I guess we have white too.
Yellow, but at least there's like some yellow among this plan.
Yeah, it's like an orangey yellow right there, but yeah. Now we've got a lot of it. Now I just have the camera so that way I can show you guys some of these features. Right now, if you go back, so I'll just be using like the little D-pad on my steering wheel. If we go back, the first one is gauge mode, which will just give you how many miles you have. But this is something that's kind of interesting, is it has your AFR. It also has your inlet air, your oil pressure, which is very important. your oil temperature, trans oil temperature, stuff like that. So, and when you click on these, it'll give you an individual little, I guess, gauge of each of these. So if you just want to see what your cylinder head temp is, then you can do all that. So we're sitting here idling. We have the trip A, which will just show you all of your averages there. And there's trip B. So I'll probably reset these whenever I get an oil change, but kind of interesting. You can see how many gallons of gas you've used, but this is not totally accurate, but still, it's kind of cool. My fuel economy, which is averaging 17, and it kind of updates every 5 minutes, so it'll give you like a little bar of what your average is. Next, we have track apps, which is what I'm really excited for, because you have the accelerometer, which is like a G-force meter of all of your directions. The acceleration timers all the way up to 1/4 mile and 0 to 100. We have braking performance, which is like 60 to 0, 100 to 0, which I'm definitely gonna make videos on, and then you can obviously clear your result. Next is the settings, which is what we'll get into with the colors, but you can choose the vehicle settings, which is basically all about your oil life, your steering feel, which I leave on sport. There's all the locking things, so if you want the car to auto lock after a certain amount of time, you can change all that under the settings. There's also my color, which is what we're talking about a little bit later. I'll go into more detail on, but there's also my key, which is where you can actually program a key to have a speed limiter and a like volume limiter on the radio. So if you have kids that want to drive your car, you can do that. And then the full system reset, stuff like that. Info is just system check. You can check your oil life, all of your stuff, make sure all that's looking good. Let's go back into the my color, which is why I really got this, well, besides the track apps. So beyond the my color with just its standard colors, which you get red and all these colors right here with the names, you also get 3 sections for my color. So there's 1, 2, and 3. Now these ones right here, I'm on 1. These are what you can customize, which I'll show you guys. There's also the halo, which you can turn on or off. So if we turn it off, you can see the ring goes away. And if you turn it back on, I just like the ring out there, just giving it more light. Change the color of the halo, same named options as well as your 3 my colors. We'll go back. Ambient light, this is what I was talking about. I have it on the gauge, but I don't have it in my car. But you can also change all the colors and the brightness and all that. Now, when you go to my color, you see how there's red, green, and blue? The way this works is that there's 5 values for each one, and as you adjust each one, you'll see the temperature or the color change, and you're adding this many parts of that color. So red, green, and blue, RGB, so that if you add more blue, it'll start to make it a more blue of a tint. So that's how you do that. I set it to my color as my yellow for the first one, and then you can also adjust all of these and set new ones, which all 5s are white. So there's a bunch of options here. Now the cool thing about that, and this is the really like sweet thing about this whole thing, is that the color key has all the options that you can change it to. So if you see the color that you like, which will be like berry pink or school bus yellow, then you can actually put in the 551, 421, whatever it says is referencing RGB, and then you'll have a custom color at whatever color it says saved as your my color. So you can save all 3 my colors different. You can put your halo as a different color, which is that ring around, the gauge face, and then if you actually have the interior lights, you can have all the interior lights be that custom my color. So that's something really unique to the Mustang, and I remember when my mom first got hers, and this was all a new feature, I really thought it was pretty sweet because it just gave it like a luxurious feel at night, and it made it seem really nice. It was in a Mustang even back in 2011, I think. I think they had my color back in 2011. Maybe 2013 was the first year. Go ahead and wrap it up right here. I just want to make a quick video talking about the cluster and some of the cool features. I want to make a 0 to 60 video because now I have a cluster that'll be accurate. So I definitely want to revisit that. If you guys want to watch more videos on my bagged 5.0 and the mods to come, subscribe down below, and I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, then please comment and like, and I'll see you guys next time.